Don't you just love this? Oh, this is too delicious. Can I say it? This is just yummy. I love this.
Don't do that. Please, for the love of God, do not do this.
This is my garden chair. I've taken an old ladder back chair and I've attached an old hoe and a rake.
This is about to be an episode of like NCIS, but accidental. You just like trip and fell onto your garden chair.
Where do you store something in a bathroom, and where do kids store things? They store things in their pockets. So I created pockets out of inexpensive washcloths, had them sewn onto a shower curtain. You could sew them yourself.
There were so many better options than that.
Here's what it sounds like.
Okay, so why does this give me, oh, what was that, the fruit show? Oh my gosh, who even comes up with this sort of stuff? Wow, while it's easy to dunk on 90s interiors like this, and I wholeheartedly intend to do so some more, I do want to ask the question as to why these places were so popular during the 90s. Behind the painted on rugs and obscure budget choices, is there anything that actually stands up to today's values? And is Decorating Sense a budget masterpiece, or was the show just plain bad? Let's ask those questions today, but make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe if you'd like to be a part of more design adventures with me. If you're new here, my name is Tash. I am an interior designer and I love making design accessible to everyone, so this show should be my saving grace, my holy grail, whatever you call it.
Yes, please. Who doesn't want jagged plate pieces glued to the red table? Look how boring it used to be. And now it's difficult to clean and a little dangerous.
If you've seen this guy before, his name is Rob Anderson. He does a great series on Decorating Sense and just looks at the most atrocious rooms, so definitely check him out. I would like to thank him because I was meant to do a video on this a while ago after this one, but I completely forgot, so thank you to him for the reminder. Decorating Sense was one of HGTV's earliest design shows. It premiered in 1994 and hosted Joan Steffand. The premise was simple but revolutionary for its time. Take a real homeowner, a shoestring budget, usually around $500, and a designer and attempt a full room transformation. In the pre-Pinterest and pre-Instagram era, usually people would find their design inspiration through magazines or high-end showrooms, so to have something on television felt fresh and empowering for the average homeowner. Culturally, it was a time when eclectic styles, faux finishes, and maximalist color choices were everywhere. Designs that we now often view as a bit too kitsch or chaotic. Not every makeover was a success, but the heart of the show remained clear. Anyone could transform their home, no matter their budget. And honestly, I really do understand this because this is exactly the premise for my own channel. So if you would like to learn how to transform your space, even on a very, very tight budget, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. All right, let's take a look at some of their full room makeovers, and let's check out this bedroom first.
Before this bedroom was entirely too predictable. The slate blue walls added a hint of masculinity, but weren't nearly enough to give this room a true design identity. And take a look now. The graphic paint treatment sets a very of-the-moment mood, while the masculine headboard keeps things guy-friendly. We love the gallery effect created by our wall-to-wall artwork, and the accessories, a little quirky, but with a lot of attitude.
Okay, I don't know what they were thinking. I actually don't mind the checkered wall, but the layout was much stronger before the redesign. When you walk into a bedroom, usually the first thing you want to see is the bed. And because the bed is now on the opposite wall, it's more of an obstruction rather than the main focal point. So they actually made it worse with their current layout. But I do really like that checkered wall, and I think that there are some pieces in the space that actually are really nice and designer. Definitely has a bit more of like a mid-century sort of look. But what is with this gallery wall? Oh my gosh, you've got this weird band that feels like it's squeezing the room, and it just throws everything off of balance. It's not right. Look, if I were the designer for this space, I would have kept the original furniture layout. I know it wouldn't have been as much of an impact, but that would have been the best layout. I would have unified the space with a single wall color and maybe carried it onto the ceiling as well to create that more cozy sort of effect. and I would have scaled back that art into something more clean, a more elegant sort of gallery wall on that console wall. Add a great lamp and a couple of plants, and honestly, you would have done really, really well. I don't mind the checkered wall if that was the same wall it's on and just put the bed there. I think that would have been really cool. But this is I can't get over the I don't think I've ever seen anyone do a gallery wall like that. Please let me know if you've ever seen anyone do a gallery wall like that, because I certainly haven't, and I don't think I've ever heard of a designer ever doing this. That's
Wait till I get going. Where was I?
ooh, okay. They're doing some
retro feel to get that retro.
okay, doing some arts and crafts here.
Then we're adding them around. Exactly.
Okay.
Shells, and we're just going to attach to the top here. And have a couple dangling at the end just for effect.
Oh. You know, that lampshade wouldn't look too bad, I think, if it was like its only sort of feature. I think the big stripes behind it aren't ideal.
Whoa.
Oh, they look like they're happy at least. That's nice. Ooh, okay.
This is crazy. It's a lounge.
It is.
In Havana in the 1930s. That's right, we found our inspiration in Rebecca's favorite piece, as well as their love of travel, to create a room that feels far away in the comfort of their own home.
This is amazing.
Bianca.
Oh, the walls are beautiful. I can't believe this is our house.
It's most definitely a change from their old space. They had nice pieces, but it needed to be pulled together, and the plain white walls made it feel stark. The wide horizontal stripes set the tone for a sophisticated style.
You may have seen in recent years the Gen Z maximalism. This is the late 90s version of maximalism. To me, I think this room feels a little bit garish. I love a lot of color and pattern as well, but I can't get over the large black and white striped wall. To me, it's just an unnecessary addition, and you could have provided a better look if you had just gone with a painted wall in pretty much any other color with a slightly muted tone. But in saying that, they do have a lot of really solid design principles in this space. Something that they did really well was zoning the areas, and you did this with the curtains, which is a fantastic way to room divide without actually putting up a wall. I do love that. They also did that with the actual like piano stand as well. Having that angled helps create a cozier looking space. I do really like the multiple light sources, the plants, and I love the fact that they're playing with color. I don't think people play with color nearly enough these days, so I do really like that about this space. I think the thing that just really throws us as the modern viewer is how DIY it feels, especially with that pendant shade. You could tell it was very, very DIY. And especially with our expectations being so high these days for anything DIY done, I can see how this feels a little bit unpolished for the modern viewer, but overall it's actually not that bad. It does have a lot of really great things that the couple was originally missing, so they haven't done horribly. It just feels a little garish to me just because of those stripes. When you do stripes, or any pattern for that matter, you can do it in a trendy way or you can do it in a more timeless way. So a more timeless look for patterns like a stripe would be pinstripes and going up vertically. I forgot the word. Going vertically with pinstripes. But when you're doing a much larger scale and you're doing it horizontally as well, that's where it feels a little bit more on the trendier sort of side. But if you did this room in just like a really muted yellow, as an example, like almost like a mustard yellow, that would look really good in this room as well. It would definitely have a similar sort of impact, but because it doesn't have these lines that are pretty much cutting the room several times up the space, you just feel like it flows a little bit nicer. But overall, I will give them something. They definitely have some design experience. It's not all bad here. It's definitely not a painted on rug, let me tell you.
We head back upstairs to see what artwork Sarah has hiding away.
Okay, yeah, this is a great idea. You know, collecting different pieces from different areas. I do this as well. I recommend it. Because sometimes you have some amazing things that are just hidden away.
And you're
Okay.
adding a lot of
Final
vibrance.
touches.
Remember the room before? Sarah thought there was too much focus on that big TV.
When we started, the room was tan and bland and blocked by a sofa. Now it has color, it's
Yeah, that
inviting,
looks a lot
and
better.
when you're in here, you don't have to stare at the television
Okay.
because we created a great focal point over the fireplace.
So this is our final space for today, and they did some really, really intentional things to make this space work really nicely. The first thing was that they opened up the layout so then you weren't looking at the back of a couch, and made it look a lot more inviting. So they did a fantastic job at doing that, and also making sure that the TV wasn't the focal point either. They tried to make the fireplace the focal point, so they did a fantastic job with that. They also worked with a complementary color palette with the reddish orange and the blue, and it's amazing what you can find in other areas of your house. And I think this is definitely a testament to just adding shit to your space. So if you are really wanting to transform a room, just one specific room, go into the other areas of your home and see what else you have, because usually you'll tend to stick towards a certain look, a style, a color even, and if you add that all into one specific space, you can make a space look a lot more lived in and a lot more styled as well. I think they did a great job with the styling here. The rug is way too small, but you know, they're working with what they have, so I'll give them a little bit of grace with that. But yeah, that rug needs to be triple in size. Because unfortunately at this current point in time, it looks like it's just zoning the coffee table. What you want to be doing is zoning that entire room and that entire space. So not quite right with that, but that's okay. That can always be switched out. The actual decorating, the adding of art, it definitely adds just a lot more personality to the space. And I think they actually did a great job with this. Honestly, I do love to rag on these shows, but in saying that, they honestly do have some pretty good design principles and some design ideas to bring to the budget designer. And although it's not perfect and our expectations are very high these days, they did a great job working with what they had. And I wish we could see more shows like this these days, where people just used what was in the space already or just had a very tight budget like this, because it is amazing what you can do with a few intentional changes. Obviously in this space here, the layout change was the biggest thing that made the biggest impact. And although I'd make some tweaks here and there, overall, they've made the space much more inviting with a very, very low cost. What I am trying to say is that although these transformations are not always perfect and painted on rugs is never a good idea, I do want to say that this is a much more reasonable expectation for a home transformation, especially if you can't start all from scratch and new, or if you just don't have the budget to really transform as much as you would like. I actually think these shows really do show what you can do with such a small budget and such a small tweak. It can completely change everything. So if there's one thing I'd like to take from this era, it's that the 90s people weren't afraid to try something new. We see some bold colors, we see some bold patterns, and we have evolved a lot since the days of decorating sense, but I would like to see a little bit of a trend back towards it in the sense of being bolder with our design choices. So make sure you let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, definitely check out this one here. And I will see you on the next design adventure.